Penguin Random House presents J. Krishnamurti, a biography by Pupul Jayakar, read by Benaifer J. Mirza. Preface. In the late 1950s, Krishnaji, as J. Krishnamurti is known in India and to his friends throughout the world, suggested that I write a book on his life, based on the notes I had kept since I first met him in 1948. I began writing this book in 1978. I have attempted to write of Krishnamurti the man, the teacher, and his relationships with the many men and women who formed part of the Indian landscape. The book concentrates on Krishnaji's life in India between 1947 and 1985, but some recording of his early life became necessary as a backdrop to the unfoldment of the story of the young Krishnamurti. Some new material, hitherto unpublished, has also been included. The reader will soon notice that Krishnamurti is called by several different names in this book. I have referred to Krishnamurti as Krishna when he was a young person, for so he was known, as Krishnaji from 1947, for by then he was to me the great teacher and seer. Ji is a term of respect added to names both of men and women in North India. In an old-fashioned household, even the child's name has the suffix added, for it is considered discourteous to address a person by her or his first name. In South India, no suffix is added and Ji is unknown. It is likely that Annie Besant, because of her close associations with Varanasi, added the Ji to Krishna's name as a term of endearment and respect. Most religious teachers in India have a prefix added to their names, such as Maharshi, Acharya, Swami or Bhagwan. Krishnaji never accepted any such title. Krishnaji referred to himself in the dialogues or in his diary either as K or as the impersonal we, to suggest an absence of the I, the ego's sense of individuality. In this book, therefore, when I refer to the man or the teacher in an impersonal manner, I refer to him as Krishnamurti or as K. Krishnaji agreed to hold dialogues with me, and these form part of the book. Most of the writing is from notes kept by me during or immediately after conversations or dialogues. From 1972 onwards, some of the dialogues were on tape and have been taken from there. Certain incidents discussed in the book: Krishnaji's meetings with Indira Gandhi, his relationship with Annie Besant, could have become controversial. These chapters I read aloud to Krishnaji for his comments. I also sent Indira Gandhi the chapter on her meetings with him. She suggested some minor changes, which have been incorporated. I wish to acknowledge my deep gratitude to Sri Rajiv Gandhi for permission to include the letters of Indira Gandhi, to the Krishnamurti Foundation, England, for permission to publish the dialogues held by me with Krishnaji at Brockwood Park, to the Krishnamurti Foundation, India, for permission to publish the dialogues and talks in India, to Srimati Radha Bernier, President, Theosophical Society, for all her kindness and help in making available material from the archives of the Theosophical Society, to Sri Ashyut Patwardhan for his many conversations, to Srimati Sunanda Patwardhan for giving me access to her notes and personal records, to my daughter Radhika and her husband Hans Herzberger for their critical comments, to Sri Murli Rao for certain manuscripts he brought to my notice, and to the many other friends who have shared their experiences with me. I would also like to acknowledge Sri Ashok Dutt for his friendship and immense help in making the publication possible, to Mr. Clayton Carlson of Harper & Row for his valuable suggestions, interest and support, to Sri Binoy Sarkar for his valuable help in sorting out and collating the photographs, to the National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, to the heirs of Mita Bedi, to Asit Chandmal, Mark Edwards, and A. Hamid for permission to use their photographs, to A.V. Jose for his overall support and supervision, and to Mr. M. Janardhanan for bearing with me in preparing the manuscript. A song bestowed upon a teeth-haired bird. Awake, arise, having approached the great teacher. Learn. The road is difficult. The crossing is as the sharp edge of a razor. Katha Upanishad 3. I first met Krishnamurti in January 1948. I was 32 years of age and had come to live in Bombay after marrying my husband, Pupul Jayakar, in 1937. My only child, a daughter, Radhika, was born a year later. India had been independent for 5 months, and I saw a sweet future stretching ahead. My own entry into politics was imminent. It was a time when men and women involved in the freedom struggle had also turned to what was then known as social or constructive programs initiated by Mahatma Gandhi. This covered every aspect of nation building, particularly those activities related to village India. From 1941, I became very active in organizational matters related to village women's welfare, cooperatives, cottage industries. For me, it was a tough and rigorous initiation. With freedom, the aftermath of partition saw me at the center of the main relief organization set up in Bombay for refugees who were pouring into the country from Pakistan. One Sunday morning, I went to see my mother, who lived in Malabar Hill, Bombay, in an old rambling bungalow roofed with country tiles. I found her with my sister Nandini getting ready to go out. They told me that Sanjeeva Rao, who had studied with my father in King's College, Cambridge, had come to see my mother. He saw that even after several years of mourning, she was still in great sorrow at my father's death. He had suggested that she might be helped by meeting Krishnamurti. An image came suddenly to my mind. The mid-1920s, the school at Varanasi where I was a day student. I remembered seeing a very young Krishnamurti, a lean, beautiful figure, seated cross-legged, dressed in white, and I, one of 50 children, laying flowers before him. I had nothing to do that morning, so I accompanied my mother. When we reached Ratanji Morarji's house on Carmichael Road, where Krishnamurti was staying, I saw Achyut Patwardhan standing outside the entrance. In recent years, he had become a revolutionary and freedom fighter, but I had known him since we were children at Varanasi in the 1920s. We spoke together for a few moments before we went into the sitting room to await Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti entered the room silently, and my senses exploded. I had a sudden intense perception of immensity and radiance. He filled the room with his presence, and for an instant I was devastated. I could do nothing but gaze at him. Nandini introduced my tiny, fragile-bodied mother and then turned and introduced me. We sat down. With some hesitation, my mother began to speak of my father, her love for him, and of her tremendous loss, which she seemed unable to accept. She asked Krishnamurti whether she would meet my father in the next world. By then, the intensity of heightened perception his presence had first evoked had started to fade, and I sat back to hear what I expected to be a comforting reply. I knew that many sorrowful people had visited him, and I assumed that he would know the words with which to comfort them. Abruptly, he spoke. "I'm sorry, madam. You have come to the wrong man. I cannot give you the comfort you seek." I sat up, bewildered. "You want me to tell you that you will meet your husband.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?